A lot of people have thought that the song is literally about drinking whiskey, but it's so much more than that. I think it's about a person who everybody feels comfortable around and who feels like they can be themselves and they can have fun. People do their dry January and then, they're hitting me up after being like, let's meet Arooj and let's have a good time. And I'm just like, hey, maybe I am also chilling right now. Like, I'm not always available to be the party person, but I am the partier still. I don't know how long it'll last, but yeah, I am the fun person who allows everybody to be themselves. And I like that. I think that's really special. Whenever anybody's hanging out with me, they're having a really, really good time. Whiskey is from my latest album, Night Rain, which, as of just a few weeks ago, is double Grammy nominated. This album feels very original, very personal to me. I'm talking about how I feel and the things that I've experienced in my life, and I'm talking about them in English. So it's also, you can instantly understand what I'm saying, which is a vulnerability that I am not always a part of. And it's a great, great feeling to see that the industry and the peers and everybody are super down for it. I wrote the song in college and then I remembered it last year and I was like, that first line that came back to me and I was like, let me look for that song. And when I found it and I played the rest of it, I was like, oh, this is all pretty terrible except for the whiskey line. So then I wrote new lyrics. Your head gets heavy and rests on my shoulder 'cause you drink too much whiskey when you're with me. Your head gets heavy and rests on my shoulder 'cause you drink too much whiskey when you're with me. It felt a little more literal when I wrote that first line because maybe it had happened with someone that I was hanging out with. You could just see them kind of falling in love with me. It's just a kind of metaphor for how someone can make you feel this way and you can feel like you can rely on them. When you're getting carried away a bit, your head gets heavy and it rests on my shoulder. It's such a beautiful visual in a way, it's kind of sweet. It shows that there's an intimacy happening in the midst of a chaotic, noisy establishment. I think it's really funny right now, even that like my shoulder at this current moment looks like it could be like a king-sized bed. So you can definitely rest your head on my king-sized bed shoulder right now. I think I'm ready to give in to your beauty and let you fall in love with me. I think I'm ready to give in to your beauty and let you fall in love with me. It implies that something clandestine is happening, something that shouldn't be happening is happening between us. I know that maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and so I'm not letting you fall in love with me. I'm not giving in to your beauty. I'm not fully giving you the permission to like me. And then it also implies this level of confidence that the singer has. Once I'm ready to give in to your beauty, I know that you'll fall in love with me as well. I'm just holding back, and so you're not falling in love with me. But once I open up, it's done, it's over, it's happening. We'll fade into the night on waves of your perfume. We'll Fade Into the Night. It was really funny because it was like the thing that was coming to me, and then in the studio too, we were trying to get that musical break moment happen correctly, and we kept sort of messing it up a bit. And at one point, I was just in the studio like, guys, like I'm saying we'll fade into the night, so just play the chord when I say night. And they were like, well, you're also singing the most cliched and overused lyric in the entire history of music. We'll fade into the night. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah. So then I went into this great conundrum of like, I am using the most overused phrase in music. We made up for it in how we played it musically. And then like the follow-up lines, which are, we'll fade into the night on waves of your perfume. That very subtle idea that the person has turned around and you catch a wave of their perfume. It's almost like a secret. It's like a very little thing that happens that has a really bigger impact. I'm drunk and you're insane. Tell me how we will get home. To rely on someone to get home, is a beautiful thing when you're out. So now at this point, this person could even be just like a friend. Especially with, I think, women, it's like, in my whole life, it's like, you call me when you get home. So I wanted to put that sort of aspect of safety and care and friendship between two women in there. Like, how are we going to get home if we're both kind of out of it? And then I was reading a book of poetry translated into English, a book of Rumi poems. And there was this line in there, I'm drunk, you're insane. And I was like, I don't really like calling somebody insane, but this is perfect. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? We'll fade into the night on waves of your youth. We'll fade into the night on waves of your perfume. Your head gets heavy and rests on my shoulder. Your head gets heavy and rests on my shoulder. After we're kind of trying to figure out how to get home, there's this beautiful instrumental section that tries to take you into the dreamy, loose, swaying element of this story. And then it kind of drops you out into the outro, almost like into the alley that we are going to use to walk home. And that alleyway is full of the repeated lines of "we'll fade into the night," because we're literally actually now going. And there I layered my vocals, I think 3 or 4 times, saying "we'll fade into the night." I'm singing it differently so that it feels kind of like a conversation now with the night. And maybe it's just me now, you know, and the person is gone on their way to get home, and I'm just sort of stumbling and finding my way and still thinking about the evening and its beautiful parts. And I'm now in my own struggling for my life to get home, still thinking about the perfume, thinking about the person. I think those many layered vocals represent like my mind and its wavering and its thoughts. Because that's so much information happening sort of aesthetically, I just kept repeating the lyrics so that it would be simple to convey and not give even more information, which I love. And then to me, it feels like I'm singing a weird merger of like Billie Holiday and Sade and myself there. I can really see some of those choices and influences happening there in the way that I'm delivering the line. Everybody's drinking tequila now because it's the cleaner thing to do, and we're all getting older. I don't know. I still drink whiskey. It's like they're like, oh, there's no hangover. I just drink more expensive whiskey now and get less of a hangover. But yeah, everybody's on the mezcal tequila train. Honestly, actually, it's the opposite for me because I drank a lot of weird tequila in college, so I cannot drink tequila. It feels like that is the non-adult drink. You guys drink the tequila and are acting completely insane after the third one, and I'm sipping my whiskey like an elegant person, okay? Like somebody who has lived. So I don't know about this theory that tequila is the safer and more stable thing to drink. It's hard to restrain when people have an alluring personality and this magnetic quality to them, and they're just amazing. Your heart is literally going towards them. Like there's this soulful, celestial connection that happens. But like physical beauty, it's like, I feel like I can control that because then I just don't look at you too much. It's really easy. Just don't look, because you'll look. It's like, my God, you're so gorgeous, you know? And so then I just kind of look at the floor a lot. So I can control the physical, not giving into your beauty, but it's very difficult to not give in to somebody's soul beauty.